Right, so I promised to do this video ages ago and I'm really sorry it's taken me so long, but here it goes. We are comparing Molecule 1 from Escentric Molecules, and that is an eau de toilette. Just want to double check that fact. Pretty certain that's eau de toilette. It doesn't say on the bottle, but I'm certain that it is. That is the ISO-E Super fragrance. So this is just one ingredient, which is the ISO-E Super molecule, but it's better grade ISO-E than is available to the everyday man on the street. It's a patented formula, so it's not one that I would be able to get hold of myself, and it's kind of out of reach for a lot of people, I believe. It may well even be exclusive, I'm not quite sure. It might be exclusive just to this company. So Molecule 1, some people believe it to be the Emperor's New Clothes. It's not that amazing. I can't even smell it. These are comments that you get often. Don't know, it's a rip-off, don't know why people buy it, but I really enjoy it, and it kind of goes against everything that I really enjoy in fragrances, because I like complexity and I like the art behind it, and I like it when there's a story behind a fragrance, or when a fragrance develops on my skin so that it's constantly changing. I love that. Yet I find the smell of this so addictive that I really love it too. And also what's great with Molecule 1 is you can layer it. So if I've got a fragrance and I'm feeling it's a bit too sweet for my taste on that particular day, I can add some Molecule 1 just to kind of give it a woodsy, sawdusty, pencil sharpening edge. It just takes some of that sweetness away. So let's start with, what does Molecule 1 really smell like? So I applied this morning at, what time did I leave? 7:30. So I applied this morning somewhere around 7:30, and it's now 12 hours later. It's 7 p.m. It's been a long day at work. I ended up doing several hours overtime because basically all the roads are closed. There's flooding everywhere, and I didn't know if I'd be able to get home anyway, so I thought I'll just wait at work, do a bit more work, and go home when things might maybe calm down a bit. So it's been a very long day, 12 hours. And I can still lightly smell it on my skin. But I'm going to refresh now. All I've got now is a slightly woodsy, musky thing. So I'm just going to refresh 3 sprays there. And let me tell you a little story about this fragrance. So I wore it the other day, a few weeks ago now. I wore it on, I went for a walk. I went for an hour's walk in the hot sun, and it was on my bare skin because I had one of those tops on that don't have sleeves. So I wore the fragrance on my skin properly. It wasn't really on any clothes. Went for a walk, and I'd already had it on my skin a couple of hours. And then I went into a shop, and the lady said, "Oh wow, I love your perfume." So there was a counter, a till between us, and yet she could smell it projecting off my skin, even though the sun had been beating down on it. And the sun normally kills fragrances and makes them very close to the skin. But that got me a compliment. Now, the very same day, I then had to drive into work, which takes half an hour, and then I went into a meeting, and a lady there commented, "One of you smells really nice." And I thought it might be me, but I kept my mouth shut. Then a couple of hours later, she came up to sit with me to talk to me about something, and she said, "It's you. You're the one. What are you wearing?" She insisted on me telling her what I was wearing, and she really loved it. And then a few days later at work, she tracks me down and has me repeat exactly what it was, because she was going to order a bottle for herself. So people that tell you no one can smell it, well, it can't be true. I certainly can smell it, and other people smell it on me. I've had comments from Mr. Smelly. I wore it once to work and came home, met Mr. Smelly, and he said, "Wow, you smell really good." And I've been wearing it for something like 10 hours. So trust me, the stuff performs. Now this is Molecule 1 That's what I'm talking about, the original. And I was really curious to compare it against the homemade option. So you can go on eBay, you can buy a pre-made ISO-E fragrance. So that is ISO-E Super mixed with alcohol. Or you can purchase ISO-E Super yourself from, I got mine from Hermitage Oils. But you can purchase it, I'm sure, from other sources. No doubt you can get it on Amazon, eBay, I don't know, but I'll have a look and see what I can find. And you can make your own homemade variant. So I did that, and I put it in this blue bottle here. This is a round. Now, I'm not scientific and I don't have scales. All I could do is drop. So I think I measured it out into like a pipette or something. I can't remember how I did it now. It was months ago. And I'm about 20% ISO-E in perfumer's alcohol. And I've been testing it here and there, every now and then, just to try and figure out if I think that's as good as the Molecule one. Now, I have to tell you, spoiler alert, it's not. So I did spray some here today. There's something there, but it's nothing nice. It's just kind of a slightly, maybe chemically, I don't even know if my skin's just picked up stuff from the environment. Basically, there's not much there. It definitely doesn't last as long as Molecule 1, and I've tested it, as I say, a few times. I tested it yesterday as well, and what I found was that I'm going to do quite a lot. Now, of course, I'm using less expensive and less high grade ingredients. So when you first spray it, I can smell that sharpness of the alcohol, which you don't really get with Molecule 1, but that's fine, who cares? That goes so quickly. Still there a little bit though. The difference to me, and I said this to Mr. Smelly yesterday, the difference to me is I get a rich pencil shavings, sawdust, musk, slightly mineral earth-likeness from this, and it's very noticeable. And from this, from the cheap homemade version, it smells like chalk. Chalk's a very nice smell, but it does smell more like chalk than pencil shavings. There's less density. This would be more your Emperor's Clothes. If they were trying to sell this in this bottle for the price that this goes for, I think there might be uproar. It does develop, it's kind of getting there, but for me it's no contest. And I do wonder if part of it's psychological as well. I know how cheap that was to make, and obviously I know what that sells for. You can get it in outlets at reasonable prices. I'll have a look and see what I can find for you. So what's my conclusion? That's my pizza, 1 minute. So in conclusion, I would personally choose that, even though it's a lot more expensive. I just feel that it's more complex, it projects from the skin, it lasts really well, and it does smell better. But if you're only looking for something to layer and you're not likely to wear it on its own too often, then I think you could just make your own, because the other fragrance that you layer it will hide and disguise the fact that it's not quite the same. It's not quite got the guts of Molecule 1. That's all. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.